Welcome to the debate. Have you ever wondered why a really smart adult can just, freeze up in fear?
Right, like when they try to order a simple coffee in English?
Exactly. I mean, they can solve really hard problems at work, but they can't find the right words to speak. Meanwhile, a small child learns the exact same language so easily.
Yeah, and without ever opening a single grammar book. It really is a fascinating difference. And, well, it is something almost every language learner feels.
It really is. So today we are looking at a very popular text. It is called Why is Listening Important for Speaking English?
Yes, and it covers a very common problem. Many adult English learners study incredibly hard.
Right, they study grammar rules every single day.
They read difficult books, and they memorize long lists of vocabulary words. But when it is time to actually speak out loud, they just panic. The text argues that the missing piece is listening practice.
Yeah, the text says listening is actually the best way to improve speaking.
It is very clear on that point. If you want to speak well, you really must listen often.
Now, we both agree that listening is highly effective, but today, well, we are debating exactly why and how it works.
Right. I believe listening works because it provides the brain with automatic repetition. It trains your brain. It physically prepares your ears and your mouth to handle the natural rhythm of English.
And I believe listening works for a very different reason. I believe it works primarily because it provides emotional comfort.
Emotional comfort. Yeah. Listening changes how you feel inside. It helps you overcome the deep fear of speaking. It takes away the constant pressure to be perfect. And it makes the language feel like a familiar friend instead of, a strict grammar test.
I see why you think that, but let me give you a different perspective. I think language learning is mostly a biological process.
Okay, biological?
Yeah, the human brain is essentially a machine that looks for patterns. When you listen to English often, your brain does the hard work for you. Think about walking through a forest.
A forest?
Right. If you walk on a path just one time, you don't leave a mark. But if you walk on that exact same path every single day, well, you create a clear, hard road.
That makes sense for walking, but language involves much more than just a physical path.
But the brain works the exact same way. When you hear the same common phrases again and again, your brain builds a clear road for those words.
So it becomes automatic.
Exactly. It automatically learns how words connect to each other. It learns the melody of complete sentences. The text uses the example of small children. Children learn language exactly this way.
Well, they do listen a lot, but their situation is unique.
True. But because of that massive amount of listening, the child's brain remembers common patterns automatically. When they finally speak, they don't have to translate words in their head.
Right, they just speak.
Yeah, they just know what sounds right. The physical exposure paves the road in the brain.
I come at it from a different way. The child example is nice, but, well, adults are not children.
They certainly aren't.
An adult brain and a child brain are dealing with completely different challenges. For a child, everything is new and they have no ego. But for an adult, the biggest problem is not just hearing the rhythm of the words.
What is it then?
The biggest problem is fear.
But isn't fear just a result of not knowing the vocabulary? If you know the words, you shouldn't be afraid.
I don't think it is that simple. Many adults know thousands of English words. They get perfect scores on grammar tests.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
But their mouths stay closed. Why? Because they are terrified of making a mistake in front of other people.
Ah, I see.
They believe they need to build a perfect, beautiful sentence in their head before they are allowed to speak. They want to be perfect. And, well, perfection causes anxiety.
That's true. The desire to be perfect is a huge problem for adults.
Right, so speaking is not only about having a paved road in your brain, speaking is also about feeling safe enough to walk on that road.
Okay, that makes sense.
Listening helps because it makes English feel enjoyable. When you listen to a fun story or a normal conversation, you feel relaxed. You realize that native speakers don't sound like textbooks.
They definitely don't.
No, they don't. And when the language feels familiar and relaxed, the pressure goes away. The emotional wall comes down.
I hear what you are saying about emotions, but let's look at what actually happens physically when you listen to native speakers. Listening improves your pronunciation automatically.
You mean just by hearing it?
Yes. When learners hear the correct sounds often, they start copying those sounds without even noticing it.
Well, they might hear the accent, sure.
It is more than just hearing it. Your ear learns the specific frequencies of the English language. Every language has its own physical sound range.
Okay.
Once your ear gets used to catching those specific sounds, your mouth naturally learns how to make the right shapes. You train your ear and your mouth simply follows the map.
So the body just figures it out.
Exactly. If your brain completely recognizes the sound, your mouth will automatically make the sound. This builds your speaking confidence biologically.
I'm sorry, but I just don't buy that. Let me tell you why.
Oh?
Having the right map in your brain does not matter if you refuse to start the car. And why is the car parked?
Let me guess. Fear?
Because of fear, yes.
Well, I'm not convinced by that line of reasoning because it assumes fear is stronger than habit.
You think habit is stronger?
I do. If you build a strong enough physical habit through listening, the words will just fall out of your mouth automatically. Habit overrides fear.
But an adult has a fear of social embarrassment that a baby simply does not have. The text clearly reminds us that people study grammar, they memorize vocabulary, but they still freeze up.
Right, we talked about that.
So why does traditional studying fail them? Because studying grammar feels like preparing for a difficult test. It tells the brain, you are being judged. You must be perfect.
I understand traditional studying can be very stressful. It feels very academic.
Exactly. It creates a stress response in the body. But listening is completely different. Listening builds confidence psychologically.
How so?
Well, when you listen to a podcast while drinking your coffee, the language stops being a strict grammar test. It becomes a friendly daily habit. It becomes normal communication.
Right, it feels more natural.
That psychological shift from feeling judged to feeling entertained is what finally lets the adult open their mouth and speak.
That is a fair point. Feeling judged definitely stops people from speaking. But if fear is such a huge wall, how do we actually break it down?
That is the big question. We can't just tell an adult, hey, stop being afraid. That doesn't work. We need a physical method. And the text gives us a very specific one.
You mean daily practice?
Yes, the text gives us a clear rule. It says that simple listening practice every day is much more powerful than studying for many hours only once a week.
Right.
Even just 10 or 15 minutes daily creates huge progress. Just 15 minutes. I mean, it sounds almost too easy.
It sounds easy, but it works because of biology. Think about a plant. If you pour a giant bucket of water on a small plant once a week, the water just runs off the dirt.
Oh, sure. The roots might even rot.
Exactly. The plant can't absorb all that water at once. But if you give the plant a little bit of water every single day, the soil absorbs it perfectly. The plant grows strong.
That is a nice image.
The physical ear and the brain's memory work the exact same way. The brain needs constant, repetitive training to build that paved road we talked about earlier.
Okay, I follow you.
If you study for 5 hours on Sunday, well, by Thursday, the brain has forgotten the sounds. The path is gone.
Right.
15 minutes every day gives the ear that constant repetition. It keeps the sounds fresh in the physical memory. It is purely about managing the limits of human memory.
That's a compelling argument, but have you considered why 15 minutes works so well for real people in their daily lives? I don't think it is just about the physical limits of memory.
You don't think consistency is about keeping the memory fresh?
I think consistency is entirely about motivation and joy. The text specifically mentions motivation.
It does talk about that.
It talks about listening to things you actually like, such as podcasts, stories, or real conversations. People learn faster when they enjoy the process.
Well, sure. Listening to a story is much more fun than doing a workbook.
Right. Now think about a normal adult student. They work all day. They have a family. They are tired.
Very tired.
If you tell them to sit at a desk and study a textbook for 2 hours, they will feel stressed. They will dread it. They might do it for 1 week, but then they will quit.
Yeah, most people give up because it takes too much energy.
But 15 minutes? Anyone can do 15 minutes. You can do 15 minutes while you wash the dishes. You can do it while you ride the bus.
That is very true.
15 minutes daily is effective because it protects the learner from feeling overwhelmed. It keeps motivation high because it is painless. It prevents the learner from feeling tired or stressed.
So it's about not giving up.
Yes. Again, the success of the 15-minute rule is about the emotional experience of learning, not just watering the physical brain.
I agree that preventing burnout is crucial. If you hate what you are doing, you simply won't do it. But even if you are highly motivated and enjoying a podcast, you are still going to face a very big problem.
What problem is that?
Unknown words. When adult learners listen to native speakers, they often hear words they don't know. They hear fast sentences. They hear slang.
Yes. And that is exactly when they usually panic.
They do panic. They want to stop the audio immediately. But the text gives a very clear rule for this situation.
Oh, the rule about understanding?
Yes. It says, do not worry if you do not understand every word. It tells the learner that complete understanding is not necessary at all.
It is one of the most important pieces of advice in the whole text.
I agree. And I think this advice proves my point entirely. It proves that the physical act of listening is far more important than the dictionary meaning of the words.
How does it prove that?
Because the goal is simply to train your ears. You don't need to know what every word means to hear the rhythm. You just need the sound.
Just the sound.
Yeah. The physical exposure to the language is what builds that automatic brain pattern. If you miss a word, it really doesn't matter. The physical training of the ear is still happening. Your brain is still getting used to the speed and the melody.
That's an interesting point, though. I would frame it differently.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think telling a student, do not worry if you do not understand, is about physical ear training. I think it is the ultimate lesson in letting go of perfection.
Letting go of perfection again?
Yes. Think about how adults are taught in the traditional school system. In a normal school environment, if you do not understand a word on a reading test, you get a bad grade.
You lose points.
You fail. So adult learners bring that exact same fear to their listening practice. When they hear an unknown word on a podcast, their brain completely freezes. They feel like they just failed a test.
Yeah, they want to pause the audio, open a dictionary app, and translate every single thing before they move on.
Exactly. They try to control the language. They try to make it safe. But when the text says, do not worry if you don't understand every word, it is teaching the learner to relax. It teaches them to accept a little bit of chaos.
Chaos?
Yes, the natural chaos of the real world. Language is not a clean math equation. It is more like, cooking a messy meal.
Okay, I like that comparison.
When a learner accepts that they don't need to understand every single word, something magical happens in their mind.
They stop translating.
They stop translating, yes, but more importantly, they realize they don't need to speak with perfect grammar either.
Ah, I see where you are going.
The logic connects in their brain. They think, if I can listen to a story without understanding every word and still enjoy it, then I can speak to a person without perfect grammar and they will still understand me.
Ah, I understand. If they can accept imperfection in their listening, they can accept imperfection in their speaking.
Exactly. It builds deep emotional comfort. It tells them that language is just human connection. It is okay to be messy. It is okay to be imperfect.
Right.
Once they believe that, the fear disappears. That is how they finally find the courage to use their voice.
That makes a lot of sense. Feeling comfortable with the unknown is a huge step for an adult. It is definitely true that when you relax your shoulders and stop stressing, the English words come out of your mouth much more naturally.
Tension absolutely kills conversation. Relaxation makes it flow.
So, looking back at our discussion today, I think we have really explored the deepest parts of this text. We have looked at two very different forces that help a language learner succeed. Let me summarize my perspective.
Please do.
I believe the text shows us that listening is a powerful physical and biological tool. Language learning isn't magic. It isn't just about feeling good. It is about consistent repetition.
Right.
By listening every day, even for a short time, like 15 minutes, you are physically training your ears. You are paving a road in your brain. You automatically improve your pronunciation because your mouth follows your ear.
Very true.
And most importantly, you stop the slow, painful habit of translating in your mind. The brain just knows what to do because it has heard the patterns so many times.
And to summarize my side, well, I believe the true power of listening is psychological. Listening works so well because it changes the emotional experience of learning.
It brings joy.
Yes, it brings joy and motivation. It makes English sentences feel familiar and safe. By enjoying simple stories and interesting podcasts, learners can finally stop worrying about perfect grammar.
They accept the chaos.
Exactly. They learn to accept messy, imperfect communication, and because of that, they finally lose their fear of speaking.
We definitely look at the reasons why from different angles. You see the emotional release, and I see the biological training, but we completely agree on the results.
We do. We both agree that the absolute worst thing a learner can do is sit in silence, only studying grammar rules from a book once a week.
Yeah. That simply does not work for speaking. You have to make listening a normal part of your daily life. You have to get the sound of the language into your head every single day.
You do. You have to bring the language into your real world. Wash the dishes with English. Walk the dog with English. Even if it is just a little bit, that daily connection changes everything.
And as the text beautifully says at the very end of the reading, speak slowly and trust the process.
Trust the process. That is such a wonderful, calming message for any learner who feels stuck or frustrated right now.
It really is helpful to look at listening from both sides today. We can see it from the side of physical brain training, and we can see it from the side of building emotional comfort.
I agree entirely.
Both of these perspectives give us a much deeper understanding of why listening is the secret key to speaking English. When you combine the physical repetition with that deep emotional comfort, you get real fluency.
You really do.
There are definitely even more helpful ideas hiding in this short text. We encourage everyone to look closely at the things they read and discover what works best for their own brain and their own emotions.
Absolutely.
But as you continue your English learning journey this week, ask yourself this. Are you trusting the process enough to just listen, relax, and let go of being perfect?
A great question to end on.